We're live. We're live. Okay, I gotta get myself set up. The lighting's looking okay. Drinking some tea. And yes, I am team. Leave the tea bag in. Oh, I can see my volume. I want to tilt this a little bit. Okay. Oh, so it is officially 7 o'clock. I'm just gonna get going, I think. So today, this is the first time that I've ever done this little live YouTube thing that we're doing here. I'm hoping afterwards, I'm pretty sure that what happens is that I get to keep this video and it gets to live on my page like forever, I don't know. So I'm hoping that happens because I don't think there's gonna be a lot of people in this live, if literally anybody. But I do want this to just exist. I'm gonna do an hour today. I've got my t-shirts here that I'm gonna try to turn into t-shirt yarn. I've got quite a few. I actually want to start with this black t-shirt. I'll tell you about that later. But I'm hoping I can get maybe like four balls of t-shirt yarn done in an hour. I'm not really sure like what. I haven't ever timed myself doing it before, so it does take kind of a minute to get done each roll. There's a lot of steps that go into it. So it is 7, so I am going to get started here pretty quick. But I guess, yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about what we're doing, what the point of this live is. I say we because I don't know why. I'm like, my mind is trained to say we instead of I. And I don't know why that is. It makes me feel like there's, I don't know. It just makes me feel like there's more important things happening. I'm not sure if I say we versus I. I am planning to try to make this a regular thing that I do called the Quiet Craft Club. It's called the Quiet Craft Club. I mean, I'm not going to necessarily be quiet, but I have this dream, I have this vision that I can create this online community for people who like to craft to come and learn things and also just hang out and watch and not have to leave their house and not have to interact with other people if they don't want to, besides like type it in the comments, which you can. I don't know if it shows up over there to you guys, but the comments are over there for me. So if I get any comments, I will be responding to them. I think I can read them from here if I can. But yeah, okay, cool. So I'm just going to get going. I might be kind of quiet in this one because I'm just kind of trying to get it done. I was thinking about trying to play music, but I'm worried that YouTube's going to like copyright things or like YouTube's copyright. Like one time I was doing a tour of my shop for like a Patreon video, which I do have Patreon. Check it out, patreon.com/MeganHD. But I was doing a video for that, and there was like the radio was playing in the background, and YouTube like took out all of the audio for that little section of it because there was radio playing in the background. So I'm not gonna risk it with some music. So I'm just gonna, I guess, sit silently here, talk to the computer screen, and try to get some t-shirt yarn made. The only supplies that you need, take a sip. Sip break. This is really good. It's chai tea with a little bit of sugar and creamer. Just getting hydrated real quick, don't mind me. So you don't need that many supplies to do t-shirt yarn. Also, if you go to my page, you can see I did a more formal video that's a little bit shorter that has like all the steps of t-shirt yarn start to finish. Also, my window's open. So just a heads up, you are going to probably hear cars going by. And if there's an exceptionally loud car, you'll probably definitely hear that. And also my neighbors are sometimes kind of loud because I live on a hustling and bustling street. So just be prepared for that if you're watching this. And yeah. Okay, so forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, I have a video on my page that walks you through how to make t-shirt yarn start to finish. It has all the things. It has little notes about where each parts of those are if you also don't want to watch the whole video every single time, whatever. So this one I'm not going to explain too fully, but I will let you know there's only a few supplies that you need. Really, you only need a pair of scissors, though I think that it's hard to do the whole process with just scissors. It's more difficult than if you have a rotary mat and a rotary blade. I love my rotary blade. I will say I desperately need to change out the blade because it's pretty dull right now. So you'll probably see how that affects me as we go along. I'm gonna really quickly make an Instagram story of the inception of being live while also Instagram storying. Oh, if I could ever figure out how to do it. Okay, y'all. We live. We got our light. We got our stuff. We got our t-shirt yarn. Come watch youtube.com/Megan Talks or search Megan Talks t-shirt yarn in the YouTube search bar. Come find me. Okay, Instagram story going up right now. Okay, I'm gonna put my phone away. Also, I'm having a little bit of allergies right now, so just a heads up. I might sneeze once or twice. We'll see. But okay, yeah, let's get her going. Oh God, okay, wait, actually, I always forget that it works better if my rotary mat is turned this way. The scissors I don't actually need right now. Oh, my tea is like at the perfect temperature. I wanted to slow it down. You know, once tea gets to like that perfectly chuggable amount, it's so good. It's a big cup of tea too. Probably gonna be up all night because it's 7 o'clock and I'm drinking tea because I'm a grandma. Okay, so first things first, you got to pick your t-shirts, which if you go watch my video, there is some specifics that you kind of want to stay within, some parameters that make it a little bit easier later on in the process. One of those is to get t-shirts that don't have any like bad side, they don't have like a side seam. So right here in the shirt, if they don't have a side seam, it's easier because the side seam, see, this is what happens when you have a slightly dull blade. Things get stuck together. I need to like make a pile of things. Okay. Yeah, so you don't want a side seam. This t-shirt is almost too big for my rotary mat, which is fine. It's just this beginning process is a little tougher to do. God, anytime I do anything like this, I get so sweaty. I'm like so warm already, even though it's beautiful. Ooh, that goes. Oh, very good. It's beautiful out right now. Like it's nice and chilly. Okay, I do save these little like end bottom seams because I try to be as zero waste as I can. I do save those, and I'm doing some projects with those where I put them together and do stuff. Oh, okay. So yeah, then now I'm folding this to leave just a little bit of fold over. Again, I have the other video that talks through this a little bit better, so I'm not going to repeat everything in there because I already made that video, and also because there's nobody in this live. It's just me talking to myself. But I wonder if you guys can hear that because I do love the way that it just like crunches. Crunchy. Oh yeah, see my rotary blade being dull does make this process a little bit tougher. Gotta kind of press pretty hard. Need to adjust things so I can get the right leverage. And it does start to hurt, like this part of your thumb. It starts to hurt a little bit. You start to build calluses and whatnot. Honestly, I probably should have like stretched my fingers out a little bit before I started this, but I won't. This isn't too much to do. I'll probably be okay. I'll probably survive. Probably. Okay. So this is just essentially the first step of this process. We're gonna have a few more before it's actually t-shirt yarn. Probably 2 or 3 more steps before it's actually t-shirt yarn. My hope is that the Quiet Craft Club thing can be something where I can get people together for free. I always like to do things for free if I can. Obviously, if you want to donate, I'll tell you guys about that. I'll talk about that later. But joining my Patreon would be amazing. I'll talk about that later too. But I wanted to create, an area, a thing where I could do this for free, and teach people, because I really do love to teach people skills, especially reduce, reuse, recycle skills, which is what this is. I'm trying to think of what this technically counts as. Probably reuse, technically. Definitely not reduce. Sometimes I struggle with the difference between recycling and reusing, which sounds silly, but like recycling is taking something and turning it back into the same thing again. There's a car. There's a loud car. Versus reusing is like turning it into something else, I guess, or maybe even reusing it for the same purposes. But this is one of those tough things because it's like technically it's something a little different. It goes from a t-shirt to a t-shirt yarn. I don't know. I think it's reusing or upcycling, some people call it. But yeah, so I wanted to try to foster a community for that and do something that could be for free, could be educational, and also where I could get some feedback on like my techniques of teaching. So obviously this time, oh, my dog is licking herself. Obviously this time, since I literally just decided I was going to do this week, so there's not very many, I didn't like do a ton of stuff with it. I also didn't know like how the quality was going to be, so I didn't want to advertise it too intensely, but I'll advertise it more in the future and hopefully get some more people. I've had a lot of people interested in taking the t-shirt yarn class, just haven't been able to like connect specifically with those folks, and social media is the bane of my existence. So it's like such a necessary component of my life, and it's just tough. It's just a tough thing to do. Don't really remember where I was going with that. Just trying to fill the silence, you know? And of course, like my boyfriend is in the other room. I'm like, you must have noise canceling earphones on. You cannot hear me talk, hear what I'm doing at all, or I'll get too embarrassed. But I can do it I have no audience right now, but in theory, somebody could watch this video. So this is the second step. I didn't really talk about it at all, that I was moving on to this part of the process, but it's taking this kind of like there's a spot in between. When we cut up, I didn't cut the very end of it. So this is where that was connected still. And then I gotta attach one or cut one corner to the other to make it into the t-shirt yarn. Maybe for the next one, I'll walk through the entire process, because I guess there are people that could watch this that are trying to learn the process, and me just saying over and over again, like, go watch my other video is not the most productive thing. Oh, there we go. Loud cars, loud cars. I think my AC is also pretty loud though, so it's like, it's all bad. It's all sweaty. You can't really see that I'm sweating in this, at least I can't really tell that I am from as far away as I can see it. And honestly, that's none of my business. If you guys think I look sweaty or not, it's none of my business. Not at all. Aha, okay. This is still not quite done. We've got one more part of the process, which is just stretching this all out. Well, we got this part of the process, stretching it all out, and then I gotta make it into a yarn ball. So there's like 2 steps left. This is probably my least favorite part of the process, I'm gonna be honest. Just the pulling, because also it creates a lot of fuzz. Sometimes, like, honestly, what I'll usually do, if I'm like trying to sit and just like make as much t-shirt yarn as I can, I'll do this part of the process, like the whole, everything but the stretching, I'll do standing up here, and I'll do like 3 or 4 of them. back to back, and then I'll stretch them all at once, like sitting on the couch watching something, so I can just like, you know, tune out of this part. It's like weirdly hard, like on my muscle here. I'm just kind of a weak beach. I'm not though, actually. I'm like pretty strong. It's just, it's those weird, it's like when you never use a muscle before and then you can feel that you're just like using that muscle for this just the first time. I think it's because this is just an action that I don't do that often. And it just uses muscles that I don't often use. I feel like in general I am pretty strong, honestly. Pretty strong. I'm a pretty like solid person. I'm decently tall, I'm decently big, I'm decently muscly. I feel like I can take most people, but maybe that's also me living in delusion. Who knows? Again, it's none of my business. I've never gotten in a fight. Never had to fight anybody physically. I've gotten in verbal fights. I feel like I'm pretty strong in that category too. AKA, I can be really mean sometimes on accident, sometimes on purpose. All right, yes, the end of that. And now, just making this into a yarn ball. I even talked about my techniques for doing this in the other video. I just said that I wasn't gonna just tell you guys over and over again to go watch the other video, but if this is something that you're genuinely interested in, I feel like that video is really good. It's a really good like explanation start to finish of all the things, like 35 minutes, which is not a short video by any means, but it's not crazy long. And like each segment is only like 5 minutes or less, like each part of it. So I feel like that's pretty good. I was really proud of that video actually. And it's really exciting to just get the YouTube channel started. I'm gonna do more and more things like this. Like I said, hopefully these videos will live on there so I can, have those as content on my channel, regularly go live and do all this. I have this hope, I have this dream that maybe what can happen is that in the future, I can do like some sort of skill for the first hour of being live. Like this one would be like making t-shirt yarn, which I'll probably do this at least one other time, if not indefinitely, until I can get some traction behind this whole thing. To do that for like the first hour, to do some sort of skill, to do some sort of thing where it's like, okay, I'm gonna show you guys, teach you guys, take questions from you about like how to do something sort of more technical. And then for the second half, we can sit down for another hour. So it would be typically like 7 to 9 p.m. That then for the next hour, we could like sit and watch a show together and just like continue to craft. I need like reasons to do bigger craft projects that I can just do like not indefinitely, but I have this problem where I get obsessed with something. It's not necessarily, maybe it's not a problem. Maybe I shouldn't frame it that way, but I get like obsessed with something. One ball done. Wow, my brain. Okay, yeah, so I get obsessed with something and then I do it for like as long as I possibly can, but it's like 10 days or less. So my problem is like I have all these bigger projects that I want to do. Like I'm working on a t-shirt yarn basket right now that's really cool. But again, I worked on it for like 10 days a year ago and got pretty far in the process. I needed this black t-shirt yarn, and that's why it was important to the story. I needed to make more black t-shirt yarn. Like there's steps that go along, right? So I need to make more black t-shirt yarn, and I just like couldn't get myself to do it. And then the project kind of fell off, and now I have this half done project from a year ago that I just like can't get myself to pick up, because if I pick it up, I want to just like do it forever. I want to be obsessed with it. But then I get unobsessed, and then it goes to the work in progress graveyard and never comes back. So I want to try to get better about that. And I thought it could be a fun way. Ooh, maybe if I do 3, I'll juggle for you guys. But yeah, so I thought this whole thing could be a fun way of like the first hour being skills, being like a teaching moment. And then the second hour, oh my gosh, fuzzies. My water. T-shirt fuzzies. I heard something recently. that humans today eat a credit card worth of microplastic every month or something like that. And it has me messed up, y'all. Like that idea, I can't even think about it for too long, honestly. I should just move on. Okay, so we're done with that one. Straight up moving on. Okay, so I'm going to take you start to finish on this one. This is a beautiful color shirt. So I get all my t-shirts from either my own stash of t-shirts or from my nonprofit, Give It Get It Inc. If you don't know anything about that, please go look it up on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. Give It Get It Inc. We do a couple of things. One of the biggest things that we do right now is our by donation thrift shop that we support and co-run with Claire's Community Closet. And that is exactly what it sounds like. It's a by donation thrift shop. We get things donated in, and then we get them to people either for free, or if they want to throw a donation, they can, but it's not a requirement. So we obviously see a lot of things, a lot of clothing. We see a ton of clothing, honestly, way too much than we even really have the ability to process. We're working on that part of it. It's just a matter of getting volunteers and whatnot, but that's where I get all of my t-shirts. There's a couple requirements for the t-shirts that makes them work better. One, like I talked about before, not having a side seam. Two, not having a decal that goes below the armpits. So if you cut it off at the armpits on the front and the back, this one doesn't have anything on the back. Having a decal that stops there is nice. Then it just doesn't mess up. And you can do it. You can do t-shirt yarn with a shirt with a side seam. You can do it with a decal that goes lower. It just makes the quality off a little bit, or makes it a little bit less consistent. But if you're just starting out and you're just doing your first sets of projects, and there's some projects it matters less on. But now that I'm doing this a decent amount and doing it to try to create products that I can possibly give to other people or even sell, I want to make it as perfect as it can possibly be. And it's just something that I've learned. Oh, this t-shirt also. So one's from my nonprofit. T-shirts that are just plain decaled t-shirts actually do pretty well with our customer base. As in people tend to shop and get them and use them if they come through. This one you couldn't really tell, but it has paint. Oh yeah, you can. It has paint splattered all over it. So because we see so many good quality, high quality items, we don't really need to keep stuff that has stains or has holes or has paint splattered on it or anything like that. So all of that type of stuff, all those t-shirts come to me in my t-shirt yarn making world. Again, I keep these guys for another project. Actually, when I was talking about that basket earlier, I used the bottom of the t-shirts, to make the inside of the basket, not the inside. So I take these parts for the basket that I've been working on. I put them together like this. And then this becomes an inner string that I crochet around with the regular t-shirt yarn. And that way there's a thicker inside that gives it a little bit more structure because it is a basket. And so I want the basket to have a little bit of structure, to be able to kind of sit and support itself. We'll see how it turns out when it's done. Try to make a really big one. I had this idea to give it to somebody as a gift. We'll see how good it turns out. Because again, it's my first time doing that. I did make this little tiny basket. This was my first time ever making a basket out of t-shirt yarn. This is out of t-shirt yarn. It's really stretchy. It's a really stretchy basket. Ah! It's fully just a spider in that. Die. Ah! Oh god. Oh god. My life. Why, bro? Why? Oh god, now I've lost it. It's even worse. It's even worse news. Frick. Where are you, little spider? Okay, there he is. There he is. Die. I don't know if he's dead. He's dead. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know if he escaped up. I feel like I would have seen. I feel like I would have seen his dead body. Oh my god, this is horrible. Why did I have to go and mess with things? I saw him, but I couldn't tell if he was dead or alive. I feel like he's got to be dead. He's dead. Crisis averted. He's dead. Or she. Wah, wah. And I could have done the nice thing and capture it and put it outside, and maybe I should have, but kind of panicked. So, you know, that's how that goes. Okay, so we cut off, let's get right back to it. We cut off the top and the bottom, so now we just have this like infinity scarf of t-shirt fabric. Anybody infinity scarf? It'd actually make a nice, it's like a beautiful color. Make a beautiful scarf. Oh my god, there's one person here. Who is it? Say hi. I'm doing silly things. And I just killed a spider live and in color. The spider wasn't like on the screen or anything. You didn't see the death of the spider, but it did happen. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, so sorry, that was all to say. We cut off the top and the bottom of this, and now we fold it with like a little bit of a flap there at the bottom. And we're gonna cut from one side to the other without going all the way through. That rotary blade. Try to do about every inch, but I'm not always very precise. Ugh, my rotary blade is so dull. I like things that I like take a drink every time I say my rotary blade is dull. You would have had to take like 4 drinks already. Okay. There, that one was better. There we go. Just gotta put a little muscle in it. I hope you can hear that lovely ASMR sound of this getting cut. I love it. So satisfying. This is my second ball of yarn that I'm making. My dog is like right out of frame. I was hoping that she would be in frame. She just laid down. She huffed a little bit. She's annoyed that I'm not giving her all the attention. But yeah, this is my second ball. Look, I have one already completed. Woohoo! And then this is me working on my second one. What time is it? Oh my god, I just looked directly into my light. I'm legally blind. I cannot see. It's like 7:30. 7:28. Okay, cool. So I was hoping to get four things of t-shirt yarn done. I had a little bit of an adventure with that spider situation happening that might have affected. So this is one thing that happens to me sometimes because I'm not very consistent with my cutting. But I have like a really big like end. I'm just gonna try to slice a little bit of it off because I feel like it's too thick. So I'm just gonna slice a little bit, like all the way off. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. That did what I needed it to do. Panic. Okay. So now that we have all the strips cut, well, not strips, but like we have it cut up to here. Got it. This is the little part at the top that we did not cut. And I'm gonna bunch this together so I can use my scissors and make this into one long continuous string. Okay. So I like to do this where I kind of get it all. Again, infinity scarf season. Okay. So then what we're doing is you essentially have to cut. You don't want to cut these straight across or it'll just make a loop. So we're going to do this first cut. We're going to cut from there. We're going to do a diagonal from like the outside of the shirt down to that first little bit. First little, what would you call that? I don't know. But yeah, see, so now we have this. It's connected to this whole other round of things. So now we get to the next one. And now we have this kind of wonky, because we came in from this side. So now we're going to go here to here. We're just going to do that all the way down the shirt. Again, this is a pretty messy process. Depending on the type of material that you use, you can get a bunch of little, I don't know if you can't really see them on myself because the camera is not that good. But just know I'm covered in fuzz. I'm already covered in fuzz. And my whole rotary mat is absolutely covered in fuzz. So there's that. Oh my gosh, can you guys hear the cicadas? They are buzzing outside. And like I said, my window's open because it's been a beautiful day. This is actually the first day in the season where we have not turned our air conditioning on at all. Or not, first day in the season, like since summer has started, where we did not turn on our air conditioning. We just had the windows open all day, which was mostly just because I was gone in like the middle of the day, and right in the middle of the day from like 12 to like 3 or 4, the sun, like it's too hot. It was in the 80s, mid 80s today. And if I had been here, I probably would have shut the windows and turned on the AC, but my boyfriend likes it hot. Like, I kind of look like that meme right now. Because my hair. I love that meme. Okay. So we're getting through this. As we can see, we've got our pile here of what's already done. Just got a few more left to cut through. I really love this color. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous color. I do also try to, like when I am like sourcing my t-shirts or getting my t-shirts, I do try to pick ones that have an interesting color. I'm experimenting now, or like trying to learn more now about like what different materials, like what they're made of, how that affects t-shirt yarn. One of the biggest things is that if it's 100% cotton, t-shirt, it has less stretch than if it has any sort of like plastic in it, like spandex or polyester. And that can be good and bad. Depends on what you want to use the t-shirt yarn for. If you want to make something that has a little bit more structure, then cotton yarn is better because it doesn't have as much stretch, like I said. But I mostly actually prefer to use something that's a little bit of a blend and not 100% cotton, because sometimes, depending on the quality of the cotton and the quality of the shirt in general, cotton can sometimes, like when you're like if you're doing this part of it where you pull, which is the next step, is that we just have to pull this all to make it skinny. When you're doing this part, sometimes when you use cotton yarn, you pull it and it just comes apart. I don't know why, but that happens sometimes. And also when you're actually working with it, sometimes cotton yarn, like 100% cotton t-shirt yarn, can be rougher on like your hands because there's less give again. So if you're like crocheting it or knitting it or whatever, I don't know if you can knit t-shirt yarn. I assume you can, but I always crochet, so I crochet it, or a macrame. But yeah, since there's less give when you're like, especially when you're crocheting, it just sometimes can get a little tougher on your little fingies if it's all cotton, because it's just a little tougher of a material. And this part, I found that like we're going from, again, about an inch. Oh yeah, I did pretty good. About an inch thick to, I mean, 1/8 of an inch about. And cotton yarn is going to have less stretch when you do that. So obviously I do know a few things about the materials and what they do, but I just haven't been good about paying as much attention to that part of it. I should pay attention on the next one. These both, I guess I could look. I could look at what the blends are since I have the tops of the t-shirts still. This one, this green one, oh, this is 100% cotton. So actually, it's kind of stretchy for 100% cotton. That's interesting. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everything I just said was wrong. This one was 50% cotton, 50% polyester. I feel like these are stretching about the same. So maybe I don't know nothing about nothing. That would be entirely possible. Entirely possible. Okay, so we're almost to the end of this one. This is my least favorite part. I already said that earlier in the video. It's just so monotonous. Okay, get all the way to the end. And then now I'll make my little ball of yarn. I feel like there's probably things, probably some sort of tool that I could buy to make this part easier, like making the actual ball. I do have one of those things that makes like a yarn cake, which is a crafting term that just essentially means it kind of looks like a cake or like a cupcake of yarn, but it makes like a little, I don't even know what you would call it. You call it a cake. I'm trying to think of it. It's like a circular, but what's nice about it is then you can pull from the middle of it and it'll like stay still, like the yarn will stay still versus this is a ball of yarn. So once you pull from one end, it will go, the ball will roll around if you let it, which is not always the most convenient when you're crafting. You got balls of yarn flying everywhere. Not that convenient. Okay. Okay. This is nice. I got 2 done. See, this is awesome because I have been needing to make more t-shirt yarn. I'm like almost out in my stash entirely. I've been needing to make more so I can do more tutorials, do more things. And this just gave me a reason to do it. And I get to create content at the same time. It's like, I love maximizing my time. It is nice to do that. Okay. This is also the part, it gets a little, crafting is tougher on your body than people ever really talk about. I mean, I think crafters, like in the crafting community, it's something that we talk about, but it's not talked about a lot in the wider community of like, people think about like crafting, especially like knitting, crocheting, weaving, like any of those things. Like people don't necessarily think of those as like whole body situations. Like you're using your whole body. Oh, hi, Claire. I knew you were going to be here at some point. This is such a pretty color. I love it. I have a couple other ones to make that are pretty. I'll make the other pretty color next so that I can get it done. But look at that one. Ooh, this is a really thick material too. So we can continue our materials discussion. This, I love this. This is a Hanes shirt, but specifically the Hanes Beefy collection. I'm going to show you guys. Okay, another ball done. We got 2. We got 2. Now that Claire's here, I'm like just pretending like this is just us talking, so it might even get more unhinged. Hanes Beefy. I wonder if that'll be backwards or not. Oh God, beefy. It is. It does feel beefy, honestly. Like it's thick. 100% pre-shrunk cotton. So we'll see. We'll see if it stays true what I said before, that cotton yarn can be a little tougher to work with. Okay. Shake it out. I'm going to cut off the bottom and the top again. This is our 3rd ball that we're getting done. Thick like so-so thighs. Oh my God, literally. I wish he was here right now. I mean, I wish you were here right now too. But I really wish he was here right now. With those little beefy thighs. That's Claire's child, by the way. Her almost year-old child. Okay. So we're going to cut off the bottom. My rotary blade. Take a drink. Take a drink, since I said my rotary blade is too dull. Okay, this one does have a little bit of a, like the decal in the back does go all the way down. So maybe I'll be able to show you guys what happens when that is the case, because it's really ideal to not have that be the case. Ugh. I also got t-shirt fuzz in my tea. Taking a drink. I don't know what that means. Claire had to kill a spider live on the air earlier. Okay. Now I keep feeling like there's spiders all over me. I would literally scream. So much fuzz everywhere, fuzz everywhere. This is my problem with this rotary mat that I have, is that it's like, this is an extra large t-shirt and it's just a little bit too small. Oh, I got it. Oh. Okay. So again, okay, yeah, so just a little tiny bit of decal made it onto this side. Really the only time that you can like tell the, I do need a sharper one. It's been my joke through this whole thing that, because I read at the beginning, I was complaining a bunch about my rotary blade being dull. So then, and then every time I've said it since, I've been like making the joke that you have to take a drink every time taking a drink. Okay, that's when you said that. Because yes, my joke has been that you have to take a drink every time I talk about how dull my rotary blade is. Oh yeah, she's thick. I do love a good. I'm gonna do these ones a little bit thicker than an inch because I feel like it. Okay, really, just because I made that first one a little thick, so now I gotta commit to it. But yeah, I've used this every single piece of t-shirt yarn that I have made for the entire time that I've done this, which is probably like 20 plus balls of t-shirt yarn. I've used the same rotary blade. So it is time for a fresh pack of blades. I need to just order some on Amazon, honestly, because I'm sure that they're cheap. The refills. I'm sure it would make my life a lot easier. I feel like even when I first started using this, I also just took this from my parents' house. And so who knows how long my mom had been using it or how long it had existed before I took it and decided to use it. So I don't know what life with an extra sharp rotary blade even looks like. Don't even know. Okay. I'm not cutting it all the way off. I'll show you in a minute why. You cut it to like the end so you have a little bit of connector here because we want it to be all one long piece in the end. So if we cut off the top and bottom, that's step 1. This is step 2. Step 3 is making it into one long strand, and step 4 is stretching it out and putting it into a ball. I'll have that as one step. So there's 4 steps, but it is kind of a process, which a lot of like reduce, reuse, recycle things are, which I think is one of the reasons why they're not more popular. I mean, stuff is pretty popular, but like it just takes time and effort to do things. Okay, so now we have this guy. It is probably the most amazing thing to have it be nice and sharp. Okay, so now we have this beautiful thing. And I'm gonna do the thing where I kind of separate it down the middle. I make it into an infinity scarf. I can't remember if you were here for that joke that I already made when I was making the last one. But that just puffed up so many things. So there's that. So now we're going to start making it one long continuous strand this is our first little spot. We're going to go from the outside And we're going to cut in with our scissors to this first little armpit here. Actually, I'm going to cut from the armpit to the outside. So now we have this kind of little pointed start to our yarn. Okay, there's that. So now, now we have the next part. And so now it's like a little bit wonky here, but we're going to essentially sew down the rest of the thing. We're going to grab the two top ones, and then we're going to cut from armpit to armpit. Oh, no, LOL. Were you saying no that you weren't here for my infinity scarf joke? I'm hoping that this video, I've already said this a couple times in this, but I'm hoping that this video like stays on my page. I think that it will. Because I feel like also I've been hilarious through this whole thing, and I'm gonna try to clip it for the social medias because, you know, I'm always trying to think about content creation. The worst thing. It's like not the worst, but it is the worst. I feel like content creation is one of those things where like it's either such a huge ego boost. I don't know why this one's getting so like wrapped up weirdly. It's either like a big ego boost or it's like a big ego hit. And yeah, I'll make the joke again for you on the next one. It wasn't that funny. It was just me putting it on like it was an infinity scarf. I thought it was kind of funny. Especially because like in person, like on the screen, it like looks okay, but in person, like it looks like trash. Like it because it is trash. So it's like, why is that lady wearing trash around her neck? Honestly, on brand for me, but you know. Okay. Getting close to the end of this one. I do feel like this one is thicker though with the cotton. I don't know if that's because it was pre-shrunk. Part of me, like, I know this is like a crazy thing to say, but part of me doesn't believe that last t-shirt was 100% cotton. Like, I don't know why they would lie on the tag. It just didn't feel like cotton to me. So 100% cotton, at least. Almost every t-shirt, like this style t-shirt, has a little bit of cotton in it. I like a 50-50 cotton polyester blend for this particular thing. I like that the best of any of them. For this particular, for the t-shirt yarn. Okay, so then we're at the bottom here. We're at the bottom here, and we're gonna go from that last armpit to the outside edge. Okay, so now we have our long, continuous string. Yeah, see, it's working so well. It's like this whole process. It's wild. Like the first time I did it, I was like, I miss this so much. Okay, now for my least favorite part of the process, the stretching. And see, yeah, this just doesn't stretch quite as much. It still gets pretty small. But this is kind of what I was talking about before. I don't know if you could tell a difference from the last one to this one with how much it's stretching. I'm also really interested, at some point I want to like see if there's a consistent, like if different size t-shirts make a consistent amount of t-shirt yarn like lengthwise. Because again, I'm just kind of nerdy. I like to have all the data. Also, that's one of the things that's tough about t-shirt yarn too, is that depending on the size of the t-shirt that you use, I always try to go for like larger, like large, extra large t-shirts because it just makes more t-shirt yarn. Because if you use like a size small shirt, you get like a really small amount, honestly. I love how the chat looks like you're just talking to yourself and then it's just me talking to myself. I feel like that's just us in real life. We just have like parallel conversations. But yeah, if anybody else wants to, you know, jump in the chat, make it look like Claire isn't just talking to herself. Which obviously, if you're here or you're watching this, you can see me responding. Okay. Ugh, this part. It's just tough on my muscles. I know it's a sad thing, but I feel like I never use, it's like right here. Like I'm not doing this exercise that often. Okay. Now make this into a ball. 3 done. I got 10 minutes left. I'm gonna do a fourth one because I also just really wanted to get 4 done today. So I'm gonna do 4. Even if I go a little bit past 8 o'clock. That's fine. Dorsal muscle. I think your dorsal is on your back because that's like a dorsal fin. I was an anatomy TA for years, so dorsal I do know. But I think there is a dorsal muscle. I don't know what it's like. It's like it feels like it's all the way through. I don't even know. I don't know. But I can only feel it when I do that specific thing, and I feel like it's just not a muscle that I'm like regularly exercising. And I said this before in the video, but what I typically do when I'm like just making t-shirt yarn, not on live with folks, is I do the first part where I like make it into the long continuous string. I do that part for like a bunch of them, and then I do the stretching and the making into t-shirt yarn all at once, like when I'm sitting down watching a show or something, because it helps to just like be able to check out a little bit mentally during that part for me. This one's making a nice big ball. So that's another thing I feel like about cotton yarn is that it's thicker. It just becomes thicker. So makes a thicker ball of yarn, makes a more structurally stable thing in the end. You guys, I've pretty consistently had 2 people watching this live. I don't know if you can see on your side how many people are here, but that's exciting because I really thought it was going to be 0. I figured Claire, I thought you would show up at least for a little bit, but okay, look. Oh, I did say that when I did 3, I was going to try to juggle. Okay. I do know how to juggle. There is, but I can't. Yeah, okay, the muscles. Okay, let's see. I gotta focus. Okay, whew, that was a little bit. Ah, these balls, these are too big. They're too big. Okay. I did a few. God, I used to be really good at juggling. Oh yeah, there. Claire, you've never seen me do that before. Okay, one more time. Oh. I dropped one and it unraveled. So, for shame. I'll practice my juggling. I'll practice so that I can be better next time. Okay, 3 done. 1 more to go. I think I'm gonna do this lovely navy shirt, which does have some stains on it. Oh yeah, you can see the stains actually. That's why, just like to remind people, this is literally trash. This tea is good. It's cold now, but it's good. I definitely just ate some fuzzies. Okay. Last one. I think the most t-shirt yarn like balls I've ever made in one go is 4. So we're matching the record. It does start to get a little hard on your hands and your muscles and all that. Eventually I would love to figure out what to do with those other scraps, like with the scraps that are the top of the shirt. But t-shirts are tough. They're like a tough fabric to use because of the way that they're made. You can't just like sew the fabric to itself. You can, but it's not very structurally, like at the bottom of t-shirts, I'm gonna just get into something else that's dorky. At the bottom of t-shirts, you'll see that there is like a fold over and then there's a very specific type of stitch that happens here. You definitely can't see this on my webcam computer, but it's a very specific type of stitch and type of machine that does that, and that allows the t-shirt to like actually have some like structural integrity along the seam, like the seams of the t-shirt. Because if you just do a straight stitch through a t-shirt material, it's not very structurally sound. That's something I learned in this process. kind of hard to turn. It's one of the reasons why it's hard to turn t-shirts into other things. It's part of the reason why I'm sure so many end up in landfills and that kind of thing. Oh my gosh. Rotary blade. It's dull. Take a drink. Take a shot. Get blacked out. Okay. Oh, this is where I promised I would make the infinity scarf joke again, which is just that now you have like a little infinity scarf. This one's a little long. I wonder if I can do it twice. The epitome of fashion. Oh God. Okay. So yeah, so there is our little infinity scarf of yarn, not yarn, of t-shirt. And we're gonna do the little fold over trick. We're gonna fold it with just a little bit peeking through. This t-shirt is a little wonky. I feel like my mat has scooted. Oh, actually, this one I may need to turn it this way. This, I think, is the biggest shirt I've done yet. I think it was also just an extra large, but t-shirt sizing in general in clothing is wildly varied and feels inaccurate most of the time. Okay. This part is one that I try to take a little bit more care when I'm trying to really make a good product, which is fine. They don't show up that much in the yarn, but it just makes it a little bit nicer. You can be careful. Oh. Let's go join a circus anytime. I kind of like used to like think that maybe I would do something like that when I was older. Like when I was a kid, I used to think like, oh yeah, like I used to think it was like a viable career path to just like, go join the circus. I feel like there's a lot of books that have that kind of vibe. And I took it to heart. I was like, cool, career path decided. I don't think I don't like have any like talents that are circus worthy. I don't think. I'm gonna sell concessions. I'm gonna sell concessions at the circus for my life. Kind of feels like what I do every day. So just so you're selling concessions at the circus. The circus that is life. Okay. So close to being done. It is about 8 o'clock, so this was perfectly timed. I did dilly-dally at the beginning a little bit because it's my show and I can dilly-dally if I want. Okay, last cut. This one again has one that's like really thick. I'm gonna try to just cut some of it off. So it's a little bit more consistent. Okay. This t-shirt is really soft. What else is this one made out of? Let's see. Extra large. This one says 100% cotton as well. I don't know. Maybe I had no idea what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about different blends of things, because this feels like, I don't know if it's like a combination of what something is made out of and then also like the quality, like, or the way that the fabric is made by different companies. Because this one feels really nice. It's like an athletic shirt, kind of, or like it said. What did it say? Yeah, it says literally athletic brand. Oh, Athletic Works. That makes more sense. Just gotta learn to read. Yeah, Athletic Works. I don't know. Soft t-shirt. That's a t-shirt that, like, if it hadn't been all stained, which I feel like, even though you could see in the video that it was stained, it was like way worse in person. It was like grease stained or something. And like if this shirt hadn't been grease stained, I wouldn't have taken it for this, obviously, because these are the kind of shirts that actually do really well in the thrift shop. And I have been, this is a shirt I've had for a minute. Almost all the stuff that I've had here, I've had collected for a while. I've been a little bit more like stingy with myself of not taking as many t-shirts because t-shirts have been doing really, really good this summer in terms of just getting walking out the door kind of thing. So I have been a little bit better about just leaving those, even if they have sometimes some stains or some stuff, because some like over the summer, like people are just sweaty and they just need a change of clothes. And sometimes people are like, yeah, I just need a t-shirt that I can get all messed up. So I haven't gotten as many over the summer, but now that we're sliding back into the winter, I'm sure that I will pick up more. Also, winter is definitely more of my crafting time. So I'm excited to just, get back into a lot of those things. I feel like I crochet the most over the winter for sure, which is like kind of interesting because I like to make homemade gifts for people. But the problem with making homemade gifts is that you actually have to start like months ahead of time. So like if you're making homemade Christmas gifts for people, like you gotta start now, which is wild. I mean, some people literally start like do it the whole year. But I don't have that kind of long-term motivation. Okay, almost done. Almost done with our first week of Quiet Craft Club. I said this earlier in the video, but I'm going to say it again, that I am planning to try to do this. Shots. Sorry, I just was actually reading your comments. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what makes the different fabrics different. Probably something. I don't want to like have to go look for that information. I want it to just like fall into my lap. I just want somebody to tell me, but I don't have to like do any of my own research, This is life. But yeah, okay. So Quiet Craft Club, I am planning to try to do this occasionally. Sorry, got a little. I'm going to see if I can do once a week or maybe once every other week or once a month. I don't know. We'll see if it gains any sort of traction. But yeah, so in the future, if I can advertise a little more, if I can know that I'm going to go live and be able to get people a little bit more excited for it, my thought is to do 1 hour at the beginning of some sort of skill. So like today it was making the t-shirt yarn, which I'll probably do at least the next couple of weeks too. And then after that, do an hour of crafting with like whatever skill I just taught, or just like doing my own, like working on work in progress. But then you guys can, be on air with me and we can like maybe watch something together or something, or like I can watch something and answer questions and just sit and like chat and stuff. So we can kind of just try to create a little online community of crafters where there's no requirement to physically be anywhere or talk if you don't want to talk, because I'm the kind of person who likes to not have to talk to other people. This is even kind of easier for me because it feels there's like a wall between. I like people. People are fine. I do fine in social situations. I do fine. But just can't necessarily add anything else into my life that I have to leave my house for. And I think that there's probably a lot of other people in that same boat. So this is the club for you. If that is something that makes you think, oh yeah, I could do that. That would be fun to have motivation to kind of sit and work on something. Because also it's like that thing, what is that called? It's like an ADHD thing, body doubling. When you like really need to get something done. So you just, or not even really need to get something done, but like you want to do something, you need to write a paper, you need to clean your room, you need to work on a social media post, you need to do something that you're like, I want to get this done, but I'm struggling with like the motivation. A lot of times people who are neurodivergent, it helps to have somebody doing what's called body doubling, which is where somebody else just like sits in the room with you or like maybe helps you do stuff, but maybe doesn't. Maybe just does their own thing, maybe just sits on their phone. So yeah, this is also that's a little bit of the idea of like a way for me to kind of body double for people and also for you guys to kind of body double for me. Because like I said, I've been like all these t-shirts I've had for months and months, and I've been needing to make some more t-shirt yarn. I'm down to my last little tiny tidbits of it. So I've been needing to make more, and I literally haven't because I just haven't had the motivation. So now I'm like, cool, this will motivate me. This will be something to do with other people, or kind of with other people. People can come and go as they please. It's not a big commitment. People can also just watch these back later. Like I said, hopefully they'll live on my computer screen. Oh, my girl is scratching her back. So if you hear any weird noises, she's like literally she is like just out of frame. Oh, you can see her leg. You probably hear her snuffling around. There you go. She's gonna go loudly drink some water right by the computer. You're welcome. But yeah, so like I said, I'm hoping that these will live on so that also people can watch them back later and either learn the skills or, maybe have a good time watching your girl do things. We're almost done with the 4th ball of t-shirt yarn. This is so exciting. This was so fun to do. I think it was smart of me to just do it for an hour this time because I was thinking about doing it like the full 2 hours and just committing to whatever, but one, I had not eaten dinner yet. So Aaron's about to make dinner once I'm done with this. He's literally sleeping right now. So I'm going to go scream and wake him up. I'm just going to get really close to him and just scream in his ear. Just kidding. I'm not going to do that to him. But he is going to make us dinner here in a little bit. So I was like, yeah, today is not the day to do 2 hours worth. And also doing 1 hour with like 1 or 2 people watching your live is one thing. Doing 2 hours is like a lot. That's a lot. Okay, almost done. And it was nice. I ended up having nice big t-shirts. So this is actually like a decent amount of t-shirt yarn. This will get me through a decent amount, y'all. Look at all of our goodies. Ooh, exciting. So exciting. Yes, body doubling is life. It's the best thing. Oh my gosh, it's perfect timing because Mavis needs to go outside. I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of the first ever Quiet Craft Club. So, like I said, hoping to do this at least another time. At least one more time. I'll probably try to do it weekly and just see what that does to my life. And if it makes it tougher, like if it's like I was really looking forward to it this week, so this week was easy, but if I start to really dread it, I might switch things up. But for now, I'm going to try to do it every week. I'm going to do t-shirt yarn again next week and for the next couple of weeks, also so I can build up a good stash of t-shirt yarn that's actually made. So yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. I'm gonna let my girl out and go outside and maybe enjoy the nice breeze because I'm so sweaty. Like I'm so sweaty right now. It happens every time that I do anything where I have to go live or do anything like that. It's just like, no matter how much good airflow I have, it's a sweaty time. But okay. Catch you on the next one. Oh God. Bye, y'all.